looking at, where you were with your family, with the church, and how you moved to the LGBTQ lifestyle and what led you to that particular lifestyle. It's really heartbreaking to hear the things that you've been through. It was like I always had the desire to talk to someone. Like in my life, I was like, one day I will talk to someone who has come back to the faith, and I'm really glad to hear you talk about your life, because this is something that I personally was desiring to talk to someone to understand, like what really happened in their life and how they struggled and how they were mistreated, misjudged, and they went to the LGBTQ lifestyle, and that you're back now. I really applaud you for holding on to the faith, holding on to what God has asked of you. So I just want to pivot this whole thing to understand what made you come back to the faith. What made you pivot from that lifestyle, which seemed like, man, I'm in this forever now, to like, I don't think I can do this. I need to go back home.
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's actually my favorite thing to talk about. So this happened in 2020 in the middle of the COVID lockdown. And I was at a pretty low point in my life. At that point, I had just finished college. I had begun working as an assistant director in the film industry in Bombay. And pretty early on in the lockdown, I lost a friend to suicide. And that was kind of one of the first wake-up calls that I had, because we were pretty close. We kind of shared a lot of our life together, and we also looked at the world in the same way. Like we had the same kind of ideology. And when she chose to end her life, I kind of thought, like, is this also my fate? Like, am I kind of hurtling down this towards the same conclusion? Is this just the natural conclusion to the way that I look at the world, to the way I look at myself, to the way I lead my life? So that was kind of my first wake-up call. And then the second thing that kind of happened during those months, it was in the middle of the lockdown, I was invited to attend this Catholic virtual leadership summit kind of conference. And the only reason I said yes to attending that conference is because it was the lockdown and I had a really terrible sleep schedule. I used to go to sleep at like 6 or 7 in the morning and sleep until the afternoon and things like that. And I really just wanted to fix that. And this conference, it happened over a few days, and it would start at like 9 in the morning or 10 in the morning. And so I needed to wake up and attend that. And so that's the only reason I signed up for it. I was like, okay, at least I'll fix my sleep schedule this way. And one session that I attended in that conference, this guy was talking about St. Paul. And he kind of like said it in a very offhandish way. He said, so we all know that St. Paul used to be a persecutor of Christians before he encountered Jesus on the road to Damascus. And I was like, wait, I didn't know that St. Paul used to persecute Christians. I definitely heard the story of the road to Damascus when I was younger, but it never actually clicked that Paul was a very passionate Jewish man who was going around with literally a list of Christians to persecute, to throw into jail, or to kill. And when I heard that story, I didn't believe it, so I looked it up. That's in my nature. I don't believe things. And so I immediately looked it up in the Bible, and it was true. Paul was this like very passionate, like, persecutor of Christians. And for some reason, I just got really stuck on that one fact that this guy mentioned in the session. And the reason I got so stuck on it is because I guess deep down, I kind of felt, I guess at the time, that I had done so many things that were wrong, or that the church said were wrong, that God would say were wrong, that I kind of began to believe subconsciously that I was beyond saving, I was beyond redemption. Now, I didn't even want to be redeemed. I didn't even want to be like, forgiven. I didn't believe in any of that stuff. But I guess subconsciously, I had also begun to believe that even if I wanted it, I would not get it. Like that ship had sailed, I'd chosen my lot in life, there was no rescuing me now. Even if I wanted to become a good girl, like I couldn't do that anymore. That ship had sailed. And when I heard the story of St. Paul, I kind of was exposed to this nature of Jesus, that he was really unconditionally forgiving. That if he could forgive Paul for all the people that he had killed and persecuted and thrown into prison, then Jesus could forgive me. I had never, killed a Christian in my life for all my sins. I'd never done that. And so I realized that if I actually wanted to go back to God, He would have me. He would forgive me. That's the first time in my life that I really realized that. And almost immediately, like in the moment that I realized that Jesus's forgiveness is actually unconditional, in the same moment, I wanted it. Like place deep inside me that I wasn't even aware of was like, I want that, Jesus. I want to be forgiven. I want that unconditional forgiveness. I want to come back to you. I don't want to walk around with all of this guilt. I'm so tired of feeling guilty all the time. I just want to come back. And that was kind of like the moment of, I guess you could say, my conversion. Although like it happened over like a long time, in the sense of I heard the story, and then from the very next day, I decided I was going to start reading the Bible. I started reading the daily gospel every day for a really long time. For like some months, I started praying every day. And over again, the gospel would just show me the forgiving nature of Jesus, the loving nature of Jesus, that He would not condemn, He would always forgive, that He would reach out and touch people and heal them, that He wanted to heal them, He wanted to forgive them. And that just became real to me during those years, during those months, all these stories that I had listened to growing up that never actually sunk in. It sunk in during those months, because I realized that I was that person who needed forgiveness, who needed healing. And I realized that Jesus would not withhold that from me, that He would just give it to me if I asked. And so I decided that I wanted that. I wanted to come back to Him.